Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. Boy, am I happy you decided to stop by. Yes, I know it's been a little minute, but y'all, your girl hadn't been feeling so good, but I am back. I am feeling better. And I am so happy to get into the mess. Yes, but first, I want to give out some shout outs. Yes, we got some super thanks, and I want to thank everybody who decided to support the channel. Y'all know y'all are so special and so close to my heart. I first want to shout out Yulette. Yulette is faithful. She is everything, and she is just the quintessential reader. She is always supporting and always coming through. So I want to thank you, Led. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jerome Walters, he has been with me for a while. Sometimes he's quiet in the comments, but he is always ever presently supporting. And I thank him so much for this super thanks. So thank you, Jerome. And Lorna McKinney, yes, she is the best. She has been with me for a while as well, and she does nothing but support. She is the best of the best of the best. So thank you, Lorna. And Cat Harlem came through. Yes, she did. Cat is the best. She is so wise and so kind, and I appreciate her so much. And she is just everything. So I am so grateful and so thankful that she came through. And last but not least, Jennifer Clark. Jennifer, you are the best. You know you are. You've been with me just about since the beginning, and you do nothing but support. You are the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming through. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give another quick shout out to Yulette, Jerome Walters, to Lorna McKenzie, to Cat Harlem, and Jennifer Clark. Yes, y'all are the best. Thank y'all for supporting. I know y'all don't have to, but you do, and it means everything. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, I have been on these streets. I haven't been feeling well, but I've been on these streets. And listen, we all know, and I know you already heard about the receptions that the Left Behinds over there, that family got on Commonwealth Day. And I am not going to talk much about it because I know a lot of the Sussex Squad podcasters have already talked about it, but y'all know, I have to talk about the messy side of it. Yes, it was a mess. It was a mess going on. And of course, you know I'm going to dig it up. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about Harry and Meghan stripped down under. Some new details are coming out about what they will be doing, and we're going to talk about that. And we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about. I don't even want to give y'all a heads up about it because, yes, it is so good. So, listen, let's get to it. We are not going to waste no time. I'm not going to keep y'all long, but I will keep you entertained. So, let's get to it. I want to put this up. And of course, I'm going to start with People Magazine. People Magazine covered the Commonwealth Day, and this was the headline. Yes, it was the headline across all of the American news entities, believe it or not. It wasn't that the family had came together to celebrate the Commonwealth. Oh no, it was about them being heckled. Yes, yes, yes. Heckled and booed. Y'all, I'm telling you, I threw my head back and cackled when I saw the people. I there booing them like they did. And y'all know it absolutely hurt their feelings. You could see it. You could see their soul making a decision to stay or go. Yes, those hecklers absolutely snatched their souls. They did. And it was delicious to watch. But this is the title of the article from People magazine. It says King Charles heckled by protesters at royal outing. This is serious, said palace insiders. Now, I tell you, it is two things about this article I love. The first thing I love is that they put Willie and Kitty at the forefront. I love that Willie and Kitty are the face of disaster. Yes, this was a disaster, and there Willie and Kitty are front facing. I love it. I love it. And number two, what I love about this article is the Palace Insider. Yes, the Palace Insider is out here talking all manners of crap about Willie, Kitty, Charles, and his horse, and I am loving it. I am here for it because we all know usually the palace insiders always talk crap about Harry and Meghan, but not this time. Not this time. And yes, it is serious, like this palace insider said. I don't know if they really had to go to a palace insider to find that out, but okay. But all I can say, they could have asked anybody about, if this family is in trouble or not, because a blind man could see that. I'm just saying. But yes, they talked about that and I loved it. And not only People Magazine, all of the news entities here in America was talking about how that family had got booed. Yes, look at this. This particular squatty posted about ABC, and ABC says members of the British royal family were met with anti-monarchist protesters Monday amidst ongoing questions over family handling of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew. Yes, this is what we were waking up to. And the squatty that posted this said, hate the royals. Yes, this squatty hates the royals. Now, I think this squatty is a British squatty, so I can understand their point of view because they're taking their tax dollars for this nonsense. I mean, living this extraordinary, extravagant lifestyle, and people are struggling over there in the UK. So I would be, in my feels about them as well. But being an American, I don't know them like that to hate them. But, it's a strong dislike because of what they have done to Harry and Meghan. So, yeah, I understand where this squatty is coming from when she says hates the royals. And also, Good Morning America posted about this, and they pretty much said the same as ABC News. A squatty came up under their post and said, and today they were booed loudly and mercifully. Funny how things come full circle. All the negativity and bad wishes they've thrown at Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, and look at this now. That's what I said. Isn't that something? Karma has a way of just absolutely coming and kissing you in the mouth, doesn't she? And she kissed them in the mouth right in front of everyone. And I love it. I do. I'm telling you, they were scurrying up into the Abbey. They were, especially Willie and Kitty, boy. They were just a couple of steps away from a full run into the Abbey. They were taking very, very long strides trying to get inside. And I just love it. It was hilarious to watch them. And also, I think Willie and Kitty was really surprised. To me, they seemed like they were stunned by the fact that they did not have support. People didn't come out to support them. Now, Not My King protesters have been to all of these, really. I think ever since the Queen died, the Not My King protesters have been at the Commonwealth Day to protest. So I think the difference is that this year nobody showed up to support them. It wasn't a balance. Usually it's way more people supporting them than it is the Not My King protesters. But this year, no, nobody showed up. So it was just the Not My King protesters. And that is the reason why it seemed like it was so loud and so in their face, because it wasn't anybody there to counterbalance the Not My King protesters this year. People just did not show up. No support. And that right there was really, really surprising. And that's the reason I think we have these palace insiders saying that this is serious, because it is. These people have no support. And I'll tell you what I think, and this is a little off subject. I really think that Willie and Kitty thinks this is just about Charles and his horse. It is about Charles and his horse. Yeah, that part is true, but it's also about them. But they have delusional thinking, Willie and Kitty does. They really do, because these are the same two people who thought that they could be as popular as Harry and Meghan. All they had to do was get rid of Harry and Meghan. These are the same people who come up with that Looney Tune idea. So yeah, they really think that it's about Charles and his horse and not them. But I'll tell you what, they're going to be surprised. They are. And I'm going to put this up. This is a repost, and the original post says, I wonder if the royal family's comm team has been instructed to call up all the American international news agencies who threatened them not to report on the anti-royal family protests. You know what? They can't do that, can they? They do not have the power to control the world media. I bet this is driving them up the wall, because it's all over. All the news entities I know here in America covered the fact that they got booed, they got jeered, they were called parasites on national television all over America. And my understanding, pretty much all over the world. So no, they can't call up the heads of ABC, NBC, CBS. No, they can't do that and tell them to kill the story, like they have the power to call the editors that work on Fleet Street to kill stories and plant stories about Harry and Meghan. Yeah, I bet this right here is really, really concerning. It should be. And the squatty that reposted this said, Prince William and Kate Middleton have won. The royal family is finished. However, they have lost their petty, nasty, leaking liar game. Don't wish for what you want, as the saying goes. You just might get more than you bargained for. You have indeed outsmarted yourself, lazy, uneducated wank. Where is the lie? Because we all know that they wanted Harry and Meghan gone. They did. They wanted to be in the spotlight. And here they are. I mean, everything that they wanted is coming true, but in a twisted way, not the way they anticipated. Isn't that the way karma does it? Yes. You wish for the downfall of others and you end up at the bottom of the hill yourself. And that's exactly what has happened to Willie and Kitty. And I want to put this up. This is the performance of a lifetime. Willie, Kitty, Charles, and his horse put on a performance, didn't they? They did. They absolutely did. When they got into church, Willie was kissing on Charles. Charles was kissing on Willie. He even kissed the horse. He did. I mean, it was delicious. Look at this squatty. This squatty said, "Here's Willie giving King Charles the kiss of Judas." And y'all know it's true. I'm telling you, the only thing that was missing was the 40 pieces of silver. Because this is nothing but the kiss of Judas. He wants Charles gone. But in his mind, he really feels that he will be a better king. He really thinks that. This is the delusional thinking that him and Kitty has. When people around them who knows about the monarchy is saying that William is going to run it into the ground. And we know that to be true because he doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to do the bread and butter things. Even Anne has came out and said that. But yet and still, his fanciful thinking, he thinks that he will be a better king. He's going to turn everything around and the people are going to love him. It's all about Charles and his horse. He really thinks that. But yes, I thought this performance was hilarious. It was. I'm telling you, they be saying that Meghan is an actress. These people are actors and they should be rewarded for it. Their names should be on the rolls of the Academy Awards. I'm just saying. And this is a repost, and the original post says, "Power hungry William and Kate are pushing the narrative that Charles should abdicate. Hashtag abolish the monarchy." And this is true. This is what I was saying earlier. They really feel that they can do it better. In their fevered minds, they feel that they can do a better job than Charles and his horse. And what Willie don't seem to understand, and everybody else who has been paying attention knows that Willie is going to run it into the ground because he doesn't want to work. One thing about Charles, Charles is going to do the job. Charles had over 500 engagements last year, and he supposedly is suffering from performative cancer. And Willie never helped him once. Y'all remember we saw that article where Charles went in on Willie saying that Willie hadn't helped him at all. And they were saying how Charles had did over 500 engagements and Willie only, what, 202? Yes, Willie does not want to work. He wants the power, but he does not want the responsibility. So, yeah, he is trying to get Charles to abdicate, but people who are in the know are not down with that idea, and I being one. And this squatty that reposted it said, "They look as boring, dreary, pale, and unmoisturized as the older king. No color, just bland and lazy. Good luck with your monarchy." Exactly. What do they think? What do these two think that they're going to bring to the monarchy that's going to turn it around? I mean, it is so fanciful. It is absolutely delusional. These people are delusional. They need to be on medication, Willie and Kitty do, because they really, really believe that. Because if they didn't, they would not be pushing Charles to abdicate. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. Look like the lip readers were out and in full force because they're saying that they read Willie's lips. Now, we all know Willie knows how to hide his lips when he wants lip readers not to read them. Y'all remember at what was it, the Duchess of Kent's funeral when he was talking to Prince Andrew? He put his hand up there around his nose to keep lip readers from reading his lips. And he absolutely did not do the same here. So we all know that he is fully aware that lip readers will be called in to read lips. So I would not be surprised if he did not do this on purpose. And my reasoning behind that is because now he's claiming that when they were at the funeral of the Duchess of Kent, he secretly scolded Andrew while he had his fist up there by his mouth. Well, we all saw the body language. Call in the body language experts, because that was not what we were getting from the body language. They actually looked like they maybe had a kiki. But that's just a little caveat to this whole thing, because this squatty posted this and said, a lip reader claims that the Prince of Wales said to Princess Anne, I've had enough of hearing his name, to be honest. And I believe this right here is a setup. They set this up in order to get this out, meaning that they told the press that this is what he said and told them to get a lip reader. Everything is performative with these people. And if you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like Harry, I don't know what to tell you anymore. Because if you think that William walked into the Abbey and said that in clear view of the cameras and did not create a stage situation in order for him to do that, well, I have a bridge in California to sell you, in San Francisco to be exact, and it's called the Golden Gate Bridge, because these people don't do anything spontaneously. They don't. Everything is scripted, and this right here, I believe, was scripted as well. I bet Anne was saying hello, and he was saying this in order for the lip readers could read his lips. Because I do not believe that Anne was talking about Prince Andrew at the Abbey. I don't think she brought that up in order for him to comment like that. Because why would Anne and him be talking about Prince Andrew at Commonwealth Day? We all know how these people are. They are not going to be having conversations like this in public. So, yeah, I really feel that this right here was staged. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And it also says, and that King Charles told Princess Anne, it's not good out there. It's rather tense, isn't it? It's not good. Hashtag boo parasites. This squatty is messy. But I believe that one. Yes, I believe it was a surprise to Charles that nobody really showed up to support them. Now, they knew that the anti-monarchist protesters, not my king, was going to be there. Yes, they knew that the Republic protesters was going to be there, but they did not anticipate nobody else showing up to counterbalance all of the vitriol, all of negativity, all of the hate that was coming their way. They did not anticipate that. That is my thoughts. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I really think that they did not anticipate that, especially Charles. Now, this out of Charles, I believe, is true. And look at this. Anne curtsied to Charles, but she did not curtsy to the horse. This squatty said Anne only curtsied to the king. They should know we are paying attention. Of course we're going to be messy. I don't blame Anne. I wouldn't curtsy to the horse either. Because you know she done bed hopped over there on Anne's side before too. And know what a bed hopper Camilla is. Yes, because she done hopped over there on Anne's side before. And Anne has been a victim of her bed hopping. So I don't think Anne has any love lost or any respect for Camilla the horse. And more mess, yes, it gets even messier than Anne not curtsying to the bed hopper. This says, so the kissing fest was fake. Willie and Kitty are the only two royals who didn't attend the family's reception at St. James. Yes, they were a no-show at the family reception. We all know that it is no love lost between William and his father. They came there kissing one another, just kiss, kiss, kiss. And at the end of the day, they were a no show at the reception. It says the royal family rift that the UK media has Prince Harry and Meghan locked in is a lie. It actually is Charles, William, Camilla, and Kate who are in a raging feud where it's a lie. And they're so fake. They are so fake. Can you imagine having to live like that? To show up and pretend like you are family when you know that you are enemies? He is his father's enemy. He goes out and briefs on his father, and his father goes out and briefs on him. And I really feel that Willie does it more to Charles than Charles does it to Willie. But I guess Willie feels like it is a payback because when Willie was coming up, a young man, a young boy, Charles was using him just like he was using Harry to clear the way for the horse. And now he doesn't have any kind of deference for his father. He doesn't even like him. So, yeah, this is how fake these people are. They really don't like each other. And like this squatty said, the feud is not so much with Harry and Meghan and Charles and Camilla, but it is Willie and Kitty and Charles and Camilla. Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace are locked in the feud. And this squatty said, what a weird way to live in this day and age. Willie gave Pa two fake kisses and one for Camilla. Give him a BAFTA. Yes, it's all performative. It says, while Kate kept bopping up and down, curtsying like a fool, how is this still going on? This is what they claim Prince Harry and Meghan are missing. Where is the lie? What is it to miss? I mean, to be fake. You can't even be your genuine self. You're always on display, and nothing is earned. People know you're there by birth, not by merit, and they have no respect. I mean, who would? It just makes no sense to me. But yeah, it is a weird way to live. And this squatty sums it up perfectly. They say, I mean, there really wasn't much left after these two left. Where is the lie? Nobody wants to watch it anymore. Harry and Meghan is the one who drew the eyeballs. I mean, I never even knew what Commonwealth Day was until Harry and Meghan showed up on the scene. Yeah, somebody watched this. I guess they watched it in the United Kingdom because they had to, because it was on every channel. You know, every channel would broadcast it. So you had to watch it or nothing. But this year, the BBC said, nah, partner, we are not going to broadcast it. Now, I know ITV and some other ones did, but BBC said, nah, and I bet you BBC got the highest ratings in that time slot. What y'all want to bet? I am so messy. I would love to know, wouldn't it be everything if BBC, they aired that show. I think it's something about a couple looking for a house in Scotland or somewhere like that. It's some kind of narrative like that. I would love to see if that show actually beat out all of the other channels that broadcast the Commonwealth Day ceremony. I bet you they did. I cannot wait until the ratings come out, y'all. Y'all know I am messy. That is too messy if that happened. I would love it. But I digress. This squatty goes on and says, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are and will always be the ones who draw the crowds and never get booed at public events. It's so bad that the BBC refused to cover the hot mess. Be careful what you wish for. Where is the lie? Where is it? Because we have heard it time and time again. If Harry and Meghan comes back, they're going to get booed. If Harry and Meghan comes back, they're going to get booed. But look who is getting booed and shouted at and called parasites. It's not Harry and Meghan. I love it, y'all. I absolutely love it. All right, y'all, we're going to change gears and we're going to talk about what Kitty and the horse did for International Women's Day. Now, we all know that these two women never ever thought about International Women's Day until Meghan came along. They did not even care for women and still don't. So they never ever thought about putting out statements or doing anything or acknowledging International Women's Day. But all of a sudden, you know them, they absolutely have to come in and pretend like they care. Pretend like they are a woman's woman or a girl's girl. When these two old vipers, they do nothing but sting women. They sting them, sting them, sting them. But I digress. This is an article about what Kitty did for International Women's Day. It says, Princess Kate penned message on kindness and compassion to mark International Women's Day. Princess Kate has shared a heartfelt post about the quiet strength of women. And like I said, Kitty has never ever cared for women. She has always looked at them as adversaries. She doesn't even have friends. But here she is talking about women and being performative, talking about kindness and compassion. Kitty, kindness and compassion. This woman doesn't know anything about either of the two. But here she is doing her performative bit, pretending like she in some way cares about women. Yeah, okay. And this particular squatty posted this article and said she doesn't even know what those two words mean. Where is the lie? Kitty has never showed kindness or compassion towards anybody. She has only wanted it for herself. And this squatty says, the Megan made me cry old face. And y'all know what? This is messy, but squatties have started to call Kitty old face. And I like it. I think I'm going to follow suit. Yes, they call her old face. Y'all, I got to stop. I got to stop now. It says, the Megan made Kate cry old face, fungal toes. Kate Middleton shouldn't be talking about kindness and compassion when she didn't show any kindness or compassion to a pregnant woman who was also experiencing unaliving thoughts. Where is the lie? That's why she could never, ever sell anybody on kindness or compassion. She has showed herself to be exactly the opposite. I agree with this, squatty. Get out of here. And just a little messiness and a little FYI. Y'all know it was an article written about all of the fungi that lives under Kitty's toes. I think it was in the Daily Fail. If not, I think it was in the Mirror. But I digress. I saw where Squatty posted that that particular article had been taken down. Evidently, somebody is sensitive about them toes that keep on throwing them gang signs. Yes, they are absolutely sensitive about it to the point where they had it taken down. But don't they know things live on the internet forever? Squatties will be putting that back into rotation and it will come up again. I love it. And I'm gonna put this up. Roy Nicka, she posted about the horse and what the horse did for International Women's Day. Never, ever, ever cared anything for women until Megan came in that family. Yes, they didn't care nothing about women, but I digress. This is what the royal family posted, talking about this afternoon. The Queen delivered a speech at a reception to mark International Women's Day and the 15th anniversary of WOW is Global. Read Her Majesty's speech in full. Who would want to read that nonsense? Something somebody wrote for her, and she probably didn't understand half of it. Because even though I talk about Kitty being dumb as a rock, the horse is not much smarter. She's not. She is evil. She is not very smart. But this is what Roy Nicka posted, talking about Queen Camilla has told survivors of sexual abuse, we stand with you and alongside you today in every day, in solidarity, sorrow, and sympathy, in a thinly veiled reference to the JE scandal at a wild reception. Buckingham Palace, I think Her Majesty's speech speaks for itself. Hmm, they really thought they did something, didn't they? Can you imagine if Megan had given that same speech? I mean, the very same speech. It would have been international news. It would have had an actual impact. Why? Because Megan has credibility on the world stage. She does. And the horse does not. That is the reason why it landed with a thud. And it got no farther than the United Kingdom. I would say not even farther than right there in England, because I don't think Scotland or Wales is checking for them. Ireland definitely is not checking for them. So yeah, if Megan had given that speech, it would have gave voice to the women who had been hurt in this situation, because it would have been coming from someone with credibility who they know actually cared. I'm just saying. And this squatty just says what needs to be said about that family and how they move. They move so shady. Like this whole veiled reference, saying that this was a veiled reference to JE's victims. And, we like, veiled. Why does it have to be veiled? This is what this squatty is saying. She says, why should it be veiled? Why can't they mention the people their performative speeches are directed at instead of using you cleaners to assume that this is what they meant? Absolutely ridiculous. If they want to support and be on the side of Prince Andrew's victims, they should say it with their full chest. We stand with JE survivors. No veil BS. Where is the lie? People would have more respect for you if you just come out and say it. But we all know they can't, because these are the same people who cloaked and circled the wagons to protect him. That is the reason why they can't come out and say it, because they know if they did, people would go in. That is the reason why I said if it was Megan, it would be a whole different speech. It would be a whole different reception, because people would be open to it, because they know that she was a genuine person and she absolutely would never cloak for a pedo. So yeah, I believe this is the reason why she didn't do it with a full chest, because she knew if she did, she was opening herself up for even more attacks, because they're attacking her about this. Just think about if she came out with a full chest. But isn't it so damning that they can't do it with a full chest because they're guilty as well? not of the crime, but of the enabling. This squatty said the hypocrisy of this woman supposedly advocates for women yet maintains friendships with media figures who have spent their career attacking women in public life. Where is the lie? Where is it? Especially Pierce Moron. Yes, him. Let's not forget, Megan is not the only woman he's attacked. He has attacked Madonna. He has attacked Ariana Grande. He has attacked so many other women, trying to beat them down in order for them to come on his show. That's what he thought Megan was going to do. He really thought that he could browbeat her into coming on his little raggedy, tacky show. He was so relentless when it came to Ariana Grande that she did. She relented and came on his show. Now, I can't remember if Madonna did, but I know Ariana did. And he really thought that Megan would do that. Because y'all remember, he put out so many invitations for her. Come to the show. Come to the show. Y'all remember that? Now he doesn't even say that anymore because he knows that that is an impossibility. Megan would never do that. But yes, so he is the worst of the worst of the worst. And let's not even talk about Jeremy Clarkson, that piece of trash. I'm telling you. And she absolutely had Christmas lunch, well, a Christmas party prior to him writing that hideous piece about Megan. And he never ever apologized to Megan. Don't get it twisted. He never apologized to her. He apologized to Harry, which to me is even more insult on top of insult. How can you apologize to a woman's husband about the things that you said about her? It makes no sense. So I agree with this squatty. The horse is nothing but a hypocrite and a performative, fake, phony human being. Always have been, always will be. Because you can't tell me you are a supporter of women and behave and move in the manner in which the horse behaves and moves. It just is 2 plus 2 equals 5. But we all know that that's the kind of math that that family over there is famous for. And this squatty just says, it's the audacity for me. Yes, it's the audacity for me as well. I mean, you know, you have to have no self-awareness to get in front of people and pretend like you are a champion of women when you have done nothing your whole life but tear other women down and sleep with their husbands. Yeah, that's it. That's all the horse has done. Tear other women down and sleep with their husbands. So you want to now be a champion of women? Stop it. Just stop it because nobody is buying what you're selling. All right, I want to talk about this because we know that Harry and Meghan is planning to go to Australia on a private trip. And I emphasize private trip because these people are losing their minds already. This is what I was apprehensive about. I knew if they had time to rev up the old engines of hate, that they would be churning out article after article after article until the trip was done and in the history books. Well, the Daily Mail, it's on its bullshit and it's starting with the churning of the articles out and churning of the hate. Look what it says. It says Meghan and Harry are no longer assured a warm welcome in Australia. Sussexes will need a thick skin for a trip down under. Royal expert says amidst fears visit could be a lightning rod for Republicans. How in the world would that be a lightning rod for Republicans? I mean, To me, it should be something that Republicans should support, because here's two roles that are self-funded. Isn't that what Republicans want roles to be? Self-funded? I don't get it. Here is two roles not taking a penny from the taxpayer and still are out here doing good and minding their business. So I don't understand what these people are talking about. And this whole thing about saying that Harry and Meghan should have a thick skin. That's what royal expert says. We'll see about that. We'll see about that, because most of the time the royal experts don't even know what they're talking about. They're too busy with their heads up their butts to understand what's really going on in the real world. I really feel that Harry and Meghan is going to get a wonderful reception for what they do. They didn't come there for a royal tour to bring out throngs of people and huge crowds. They're not going to be walking down the street or doing any of the things they did when they were on a royal tour. Because the more and more we learn about this visit, it's not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be a huge, huge deal. It's not going to be like a royal tour. It's going to be Harry and Meghan minding their business. And it's going to be small venues and small events. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, this is their personal trip, and they are taking care of their personal business and, doing things probably for their charity, Archwell or Invictus. So I don't get it. I don't get why you so bothered. Why you so triggered? Leave them alone. And this squatty posted that article and said it will make the whales look bad. That's why they so bothered, because they know Harry and Meghan are better than Willie and Kitty. At the job, they are. And so that is the reason why we're churning up the hate ahead of time. And that was my concern. When it was announced so far ahead, we know how the flying monkeys behave. And they're starting to do exactly what we expected them to do. And that is to churn up the hate. It says, finally, an expert spoke the truth. The Daily Mail is working 24/7 because they know that the Sussexes do a better job, look better doing it, and actually draw a crowd without being assigned one, where it's a lie, because we all know that they have started to bust people in, and I would not be surprised if they hadn't started to pay them. I'm just saying. And it says Australia is about to show everyone who's the real global icons are. Come on, Australia. Come on through. Come on, Australia squatties. Show yourselves. Come on and do our faves right. That's what I'm saying. And even old Tom Thumbhead Sykes, he chimed in and wrote an article talking about Harry and Meghan in for a rude awakening in Australia. How do you know, Tom Thumbhead Sykes? How do you know? Are you Australian? Do you know anything about the country? No, you don't. You're just out here yapping away with your thumb head and not even thinking about what you're saying, because you're so far up Willie's arse that you don't even know what's really going on. You are trying to get something out of this whole situation. I am so sick of these people, all these sycophants. It is disgusting. It says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are doing another quasi royal tour to Australia. He has no idea whatsoever what Harry and Meghan's itinerary is going to look like. But I can guarantee you it's not going to look like a royal tour. It's not, because Harry and Meghan don't do that. Usually it's small venues, like I said before, small engagements. Harry and Meghan are not there to walk the streets and wave. But this is the nonsense that people like Tom Thumbhead Sykes is out here peddling because of the insecurity of Willie and Kitty. They are afraid that the people will come out. They're afraid that Harry and Meghan will be shown love. They are afraid that Harry and Meghan's star power is going to shine and shut Australia down. That's what's going on here. And they know that Willie and Kitty can never, ever, ever do that. And so here we are with all of the slings and arrows that they are trying to throw at Harry and Meghan to try to bring them down and try, I believe, to get Harry and Meghan to cancel the whole trip. They are just that threatened by Harry and Meghan's popularity. They would love if Harry and Meghan would cancel. But all I can say to that is Harry and Meghan are no punks. No, they're not. So they will be in Australia mid-April. And if you don't believe it, hold your breath. That's another hold your breath moment. Because Harry and Meghan are going to show up and their fans are going to show up and show out. And this squatty wrote about Tom Sykes and said, so Tom Sykes has written an article saying that Harry and Meghan should be prepared not to receive a warm welcome in Australia because sentiments towards them has changed. First, no one really knows what Harry and Meghan are planning to do in Australia. Second, Harry and Meghan have never called their overseas trips quasi royal tours. Instead, they have always made it abundantly clear that they are representing themselves and their foundation when they go abroad. Where is the lie? Finally, I don't know why Tom is so focused on the Sussexes when it's the broader sentiment towards the monarchy he should be worried about, as evidenced by the reception the royals were met with at the Commonwealth Day event. Where is the lie? Worry about that. Because you got people booing, you got people calling them parasites, you have people who are showing up and showing out just to show these people that they're not wanted anymore. But yet and still here you are worrying about Harry and Meghan, two private citizens. It makes no sense. It really don't. I mean, focus on them. You have people asking them what they knew about Andrew and JE, but yet and still you're focused on if Harry and Meghan is going to get a warm reception or not. Stop it. Stop it. You're out here in these internet streets looking real stupid. You really are. This squatty said Prince Harry and Meghan are loved and their supporters actually show up and show out wherever they go. William and Kate, well, this video speaks for itself. And this squad is talking about the video of them going into Westminster Abbey and they are getting booed. Boo, boo. I'm telling you, it reminded me of that scene in Princess Bride when, when the old lady came out and booed Buttercup because Buttercup was out there pretending like she was going to be happy. It was all a dream. But it really, really woke Buttercup up to the fact that she could not marry this man. So yes, it reminded me of that because they were like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. It was so funny. But I digress. This squatty said, perhaps concentrate on positivity for William and Kate instead of hating on Harry and Meghan. Exactly. We don't know if Harry and Meghan is going to get booed, but we know that that family was booed. It already has happened. It is already in the process. Everywhere they go, pretty much they get booed, but yet and still you want to act as if Harry and Meghan being booed would be the end of the world or something. It would absolutely end them completely. Somehow people would start to hate them. I mean, it's crazy to me, the standard, the double standard that you have for Harry and Meghan and that family over there. They get booed at every turn, but yet and still you want to try to pretend like if Harry and Meghan get a boo or two, somehow it's going to be the end for them. Stop it. It is ridiculous. This squatty said, here we go. A Deranger has started a petition demanding that Harry and Meghan's Australian visit is not funded by the taxpayer. So far, it has garnered a pathetic 1,500 signatures. They are so stupid not to be able to comprehend the meaning of a private visit. What a bunch of illiterate morons. Exactly. They have literally started a petition against Harry and Meghan, private citizens going on a trip. These people are crazy. This squatty said, amazing. Quite a lot of these derangers are really intelligent people. I know several. I can't understand why they can't see through the propaganda written about Harry and Meghan. It never ceased to baffle me. Well, let me enlighten you a little bit. The reason why intelligent people hate on Harry and Meghan is because they want to believe the nonsense. And it is just as simple as that. And they are jealous, envious, racist people. They are. And they can't sit in that. They don't want to sit in that. And because of that, they seek ways to alleviate that feeling that they're not a good person, because good people are not racist, jealous, or envious. So what they do, they seek out justification for the way they feel. And what do? They find lies. They are more than willing to believe lies, anything to alleviate how they're feeling. They're incongruent. They trying to get congruent to make themselves feel better. I cannot be a bad person, so it has to be Harry and Meghan. They have to be bad people. I have to find things to make them bad people so I can feel better about myself. That's what's going on. It is just as simple as that. These people are just filled with the demons of envy, jealousy, and racism. That's it. And when you have those things in your heart, you can be the most intelligent person in the world and you'll still fall for the okie doke because you need to alleviate yourself from that. So you got to find justification that somehow this person has to be evil. They have to be bad because I wouldn't be feeling this way about them because I'm a good person. Yes, that's what's going on. Yeah, that is why smart people fall for the okie doke. I'm just saying. And this other squatty, this last squatty said, intelligent, if you say so, but with intelligence also comes common sense and the ability to reason and to be discerning. If they just for a moment look past their unfounded hate, they become more tolerant of people. Just my opinion. Yeah, but they can't because they can't sit in it. They don't want to be bad people. And they know the traits of bad people is hating people, being racist, being envious, being jealous. So because of that, like I said earlier, they cannot sit in it. So of course they are willing to believe the lies. I mean, I bet you in other areas of their lives, they're probably quite rational. But when it comes to Harry and Meghan, they're so jealous. They're so hateful. They're so envious. They're so racist. They cannot be rational. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This squatty posted a picture of the petition. Yes, the petition. It is real. And this squatty said, y'all derangers are writing petitions again. You're a bunch of clowns. Where is the lie? And here is a close-up picture of this said petition. And as you can see, it says no taxpayer funding or official support for Harry and Meghan's private visit to Australia. This is so deranged because if you would use your power of discernment, like the other squatty said earlier, you would know that a private visit means private. So why would taxpayers be paying for it? It makes no sense. They're not working royal, so why would the taxpayers be paying for their trip, their private trip to Australia? It makes no sense. Talk about we don't want them here. Yes, it seems like about 1,500 of you don't want it. And I think it's what, 25, 24 million people in Australia? I think I'll take those odds. I'm just saying. Crazy, 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 deranged. And I'm going to put this up. Look like we got one confirmation of an event that Meghan is going to do when she is in Australia. And as you can see, is her best life. Come on through, Meghan. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, her best life retreat featuring question and answer with special guest Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Yes, there it is. It says when? Friday the 17th April to Sunday the 19th April. So we know that they're going to be in Australia at least by the 17th, no later than the 19th, because she will be doing this event and it's in Sydney. So yeah, I'm excited. I am. I'm already excited. And this squatty that posted it said the Duchess of Sussex will officially speak at her Best Life podcast retreat in Sydney, Australia. She will join podcaster Gemma O'Neill in conversation and for an intimate gala dinner on Friday, April the 17th through Sunday, April the 19th, 2026. Yes, 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 it's coming together, y'all. And y'all know that I love to end on a positive note, and that's exactly what I am going to do right now. And as you can see, look at this. It looks like Russell Meyer's book is not the big seller that he has been out here perpetrating it to be. Because look what this squatty has posted. She has posted a list of the best sellers on the Sunday Times bestseller list. And it also, it also gives you how many books that has been sold. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. And as you can see, William and Catherine, that book has sold a whopping 4,250 books, and that landed it in third place on the Times bestseller list. Now, they must don't sell many books over there, because if you sold only 4,215 books and you number 3 on the bestsellers list, oh my God, it doesn't take much, does it? And he's out here bragging about it. I am so embarrassed for him. I am so embarrassed for him. I cannot. And I will ring this from the top of the mountain every time I see his face, every time I go in his comments. I will be reminding him that yes, his book is a bestseller, but it don't take much to be just that. Not on the Sunday Times, it doesn't. It only takes 4,215 to be a bestseller. I love it, y'all. I love it. And this squatty who posted this said, Spare sold 3.2 million copies in its first week. Russell Meyer's book about Kate and William only managed 4,215 copies in its first week. there are levels. Yeah, it's levels. And y'all, I saw this little clip from Amanda Matter. Y'all know how I feel about her, but she was talking about how she had Russell Myers on their podcast, her and Meredith did. I didn't see it or anything like that, but she said she asked him what Megan had done and about this book, and he said and admitted to the fact that this was supposed to be William and Kate's side. So what does that tell you? That tells you that he worked hand in glove with Willie and Kitty, trying to rewrite history just the way we said he was doing. Yes, he did that. And then also, when pressed to say what Megan had done to deserve all of this mistreatment, to deserve being called a bully, what incident that happened that he can put his finger on and highlight that she did, he was unable to do so. Surprise, surprise. Now, I have my problems with Amanda Matter and I have my problems with Meredith Constant, but this time they were out there doing God's work. I'm just saying. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that little tidbit, because that right there was good. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.